Good. This is Robert Walter, and he is diligently, new word, working in the left-hand corner. This is an endless loop animation handcrafted in Blender 3D without any AI assistance. Speaking of AI, I use AI now for writing improvement. I want to work on my weaknesses, and I do that already since Easter of 2026, using a local AI to improve my writing skills. It's not necessary. Local AI is not necessary to improve writing skills, but it's fun to me. It's the first time in my life that I actually enjoy writing, and so I have to go with the flow and have to use this opportunity to get better. At the same time, I want to share the progress, the process of it, because it may inspire people who do suffer a little bit of the same problem. Like, I'm not good at writing at all. Not in my native language, not in the English language, in none of those languages. But if it's fun, then there is a way to improve. And so that's what I do. Okay, enough blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna talk more about me and also about my English learning journey, which I started in 2017, focused on my strengths, which are speaking and listening. Those are my strengths, but writing is obviously not. Okay, so what you see right now is LM Studio. This is not open source. I checked. I think this is only for free. They're still developing that, but basically you can see LM Studio as a launcher, which allows you to download different AI models and AI models like ChatGPT or Gemini. I use Gemini in this session here, and locally you can run those. You can basically run ChatGPT on your personal computer, and that is great for privacy. I think this is the direction AI should go in general. So it's very interesting. And by default, you cannot just communicate verbally. You cannot just speak into the microphone with, Gemini using LM Studio. There is a way. Maybe they're gonna implement that in the future as well. I would heavily think so, but right now it's not possible. So I kind of forced to interact with the local AI here using my keyboard, and I did this since Easter. Like I said, I hope I said that, of 2026, and I discovered that it's actually fun. Again, fun is very important to type, to communicate with AI, and I thought, hey, I can actually try to improve my writing skills, and for that I set up some rules. Now let's get to it. Otherwise I babble nonstop. 2 rules do matter. The first one is more like a general rule, which I always recommend. Keep it fun. Will always overrule whatever I say. Whatever I say whatever is fun to you will always be the right path to go. It's very important, because if something is enjoyable and fun, you don't need discipline to go through it. You will only need discipline for bad days when you don't feel like it. Then you use discipline as a filler, as a motivation for a short term, but you cannot use discipline for a long period. It's not gonna, you drain yourself out. So, but I think you understand that. Okay, but the more practical rule, now let's get to it. So, I'm gonna have a back and forth conversation with AI about anything, doesn't really matter. And whenever, and this is the rule, whenever I misspell a word, for example, here I typed in, instead of today, I used a D, right? So it's obviously a mistake. Let's say I would not be able to fix it myself, the spelling, then I would need to right click and check the word, or checking the word in general. If this ever happens, then the rule is to write that word after checking it 3 times in a row correctly. Only that, I have to do it well. So 3 times in a row correctly. And if this is successfully completed, I can move on. And even if I encounter the same word later and I struggle with that, I do not have to do it 3 times in a row again. But it's optional. This depends on if it's fun or not. The rule is only 3 times in a row. Okay, I'm gonna show it. It's easier to show because sometimes I over-explain. And there's also another thing. Not just want to improve I don't want to improve my writing skills only, but reading skills will improve as well, and constructing sentences, which then leads to the outcome that I will be able to express myself better. You know, I think that's overall very, very beneficial. I even bought myself a new keyboard because it's fun. The fun aspect matters. To me, it's like a game almost, you know. Okay, so the rule, so let's say I typed this in 3 times. I typed this in, it's incorrect. And now I could right click and check, today is written like that. Okay, then I would go ahead and would say today, 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 like this. And yeah, that's the only rule basically. This is the only practical rule which I set for myself, and the only thing which can modify is the fun aspect. But I think that's okay. So I do this since Easter, and this is surprising to me, I really gave up on, I was thinking I cannot get better at writing, but I can see already an improvement, and it's the right time to record that, because if I keep doing that, I'm gonna be so good that it's boring to watch. But since Easter, I do that of 2026, and the way how I see it now, this will change in the future, is the way how I noticed my progress is that I still struggle with proper writing. I still misspell a lot, but I can fix it faster. That's what I've noticed. And some words I actually fixed completely. It's very interesting. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I think let me just listen to the old babbling, because I want to make sure that I communicated at least good enough. It's not easy, so let me check and then I move on. Okay, so I checked. I'm actually not very happy how I explained things. I kind of repeated myself, but it's very hard to communicate everything which I think is important into that. So I'm gonna handle it like this. This video will be the part O, and then I wanna record a weekly session at least, sharing a private, an exercise with you once in a week. And I want to do that because, first of all, I like to record, obviously. I like to show my Blender stuff, but I also, when I record, I take things more seriously, and you maybe see that and get inspired yourself, you know. So today I'm not gonna start, or in this video at least, I'm not gonna start writing a lot, because it's already spent so much time trying to explain everything. So this is gonna be part O, and that is gonna be, has the advantage, if I'm not happy in the future, I can replace this one, you know. Because I wanted to explain what is LM Studio, why am I doing that in the first place, you know. Not sure if I communicated it that well, but let me just share this with you. So I have here a little prompt prepared for the AI. I want to do this with you together, and then in the next part I just start with something. I guess that's easier. Okay, so let's say this is like a Gemini, and the first prompt I have to type something in like that. So here it should actually say no, hey there, I think. Hey there. Hey there, this conversation is also a English practice. For that reason, please correct my English by giving me always one better, more natural version of whatever I prompt you. So I'm gonna type this here in. This is gonna be the first prompt, very important, so the AI knows what I'm going for. So hey there. This conversation is also, that's a German thing. It's also a English practice. Good. For that reason, please correct my English. Oh, interesting. For that reason, please correct my English. Why is it not capital now? Interesting. Let's ask AI for that reason. Yeah. Here if I cannot fix it myself, I have to. If I have to check, then the rule applies. For that reason. But I was able to. For that reason, please correct my English. Please correct my English. Please correct my English by giving me always one better. Yeah, by giving me always one better, more natural way, more natural version of whatever I prompt you. More natural version of whatever I prompt you. I want to add something to it. Also, start already by correcting the very first prompt. Before I send that, I just want to mention I do this since Easter, right? So this word was tricky for me. So I will still once in a while make a mistake, but you know, I got really good at writing this one. I know I've noticed this. Practice was a word I struggled with, even English. But it's I know it's weird, but I really, you know, I'm not good at writing. It's just really, or at least I was not able to figure out a way which works for me, you know. Anyway, so English was something, but not so much. Natural was difficult a bit. Prompt, I didn't know how to write it because I wrote it without the P. I said like so, prompt, because you know, to me in the German that makes sense. Prompt. Okay, good. Let's send that. Let's see what we did well. Okay, response. That sounds like a fantastic idea. I'd be happy to help you with your English practice. Here is the correction of you for your first prompt. Originally, blah 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 blah. More natural. Let's see. Hey there. Since this conversation will also be for English practice, could you please correct my English whenever I prompt you? Please give me one better, more natural version of what I wrote. Please start by correcting this very first message as well. Yeah, and here's another thing. So to me, it's fun to just have a conversation. I do not like writing things from which are already existing, like shadow writing, or I don't know how to say that actually. In the German, I know. Yeah, how could I say that? Hey, how could I say that in the English language? Oh, this is interesting. Yeah, let's see. Language. Also, a thing I fixed. Not fixed. I still struggle, as you can see. But I can do it myself. I struggle with the lenguaje. It drives me nuts. The guaque. Okay. Yeah. So is this full screen anyway? Oh, it's full screen. Yeah. Hey, how could I say that in the English language? Ich muss das noch abschreiben. Let's see. That's a great phrase to practice. The best way to translate "ich muss das noch abschreiben" depends slightly on the context. It's true. There's many things. There's always context, as Trevor Noah said. Always context. But here are several natural options. More natural options. If you mean physically copying text notes, yeah, that's right. Still have to copy this down. I still have to copy this down. This is the very common and direct. This is very common and direct. The second one is if you mean typing it out or recording it, I still need to transcribe transcribe that. Transcribe that? Yeah, transcribe that. I see. Or if you mean writing something down for later reference, I still need to write this down. No, I mean the first one actually. The first one I mean. Also, give me a more casual way of saying that. So, gotta copy this letter, need to write this out. I still gotta what? I still gotta jot this down. That's awful. That's awful. Okay, gotta copy this later, need to write this out. Yeah, I like this. I need to write this out. Okay, let's see. I still have to copy this down. Formal standard. This is very common uses of contraction. Gotta copy this letter. I don't like it at all. Gotta copy this letter, man. I don't have time. Okay. Need to write this out. Yeah, I need to write this out, man. I don't have time, man. Gotta copy this letter. I don't know. Okay. Yeah. So I do not like that, the copy thing, but sometimes it's very helpful. So here I'm using discipline because I really don't enjoy that one, but I know it's gonna help me a bit. So let's say I liked this one here, right? And that's a great, here I'm using not joy necessarily, but here I use discipline just to do that. I know it's helpful just to write this out. Or what is a better way? What is the normal way? To copy this down. Yeah, I know it's helpful to copy this down. Is this correct? I don't know. Okay, let's see. Is this correct for this context? I need, oh nonsense, I'm not singing here. I need to copy that down. What is it what I want to copy? This guy here. Crap, doesn't work like, okay, that's okay. Hey there, let's just copy that. Let's just copy that down. Okay, hey there, exclamation mark. That's something, it doesn't make sense to me. Isn't that not yelling at someone? I don't, same thing in the German. I don't understand the exclamation mark there. Hey there! I'm not yelling. I say, hey there, what's up? I don't get this one here. Well, anyway. Since this conversation will also be for English practice. Okay, since this conversation will also be for English practice. Is this correct? Yeah, not for a English practice, for an English practice, but for English practice. That's interesting. So, hey there, since this conversation will also be for English practice, comma, could you please correct my English? Could you please, I beg you, correct my English? Question mark. The question mark makes sense. I like that. Question mark I always like. Whenever I prompt you. So I wouldn't say whenever I prompt you. I would say for that reason, because of that. So because I'm still asking. Whatever. Whenever I prompt you, whenever I prompt you. Comma, please, whenever I prompt you, please give me one better and more natural version. Please give me one better and more, okay, please give please give me one better and more, I see, and more natural version of what I wrote .com. Please start by correcting this very first message as well. Yeah. I see. Okay, I don't have to do this, but let's just further. Please start by correcting the this very first message as well. So the interesting part is right now there are no, I mean, this is really, on the one hand, I gotta really say that one, it is fast, man. I'm surprised that how I improved in such a short time. That's crazy. I completely underestimated that. But I also learned still, I learn about learning as well. And so that's very interesting to me. But there will be, believe me, there will be words I'm gonna struggle. But it's gonna come up. Right now, those words are very simple, very easygoing. They gonna come. I also have still saved the recording from when I responded to a comment of mine on this channel here, which was not a bad thing. I just wanted to have a nice presentation, a better one, and a bigger font. I still have saved that. Maybe I'm gonna re-upload that if I ever want to do that, but then I have to make it bigger a little bit and whatever. In this video, I struggled more, so I expect it's a week ago. So, Okay. Yeah, let's see if this is correct. Is this correct for this context? I need to copy that down here. Hey there. Yeah, let's see. That's great. That's a great attempt at putting it all together. You are very close, but there are a few small grammatical tweaks needed to make it sound perfectly smooth and native. Original text, we don't have to read. More natural version. Hey there, since this conversation is going to be... What? I think it's... Okay, it's AI. Okay, but okay, whatever. Hey there, since this conversation is going to be for English practice, could you please correct my English? Whenever I prompt you, please give me one better, more natural version of what I write. Could you also start by correcting this very message? Okay, by correcting this very message. Okay, let's see. What was my question actually? I forgot. Is this the correct context I need about the copying down thing, could you please yeah, but did I use the phrase the phrase correctly? What did I use here? I need to copy that down. I need to copy that down. Yes, you use the phrase, I need to copy that down, perfectly correct in terms of grammar and meaning. I see. Okay, well then I can just move on. Okay, so this is how I would go about that. I also would like to maybe have the AI respond with a follow-up question to have a good conversation. Maybe it's great. Everybody loves those conversations with AI, right? For example, everybody wants to know what is the meaning of life. It's very simple, live it. But if you want to stress out yourself, so let's just say, hey, let's oh no, I don't want to actually say let's I would appreciate, let's try this one. I would also appreciate, and here we go. That's a tricky word because I don't know. First I always try to fix it myself, I don't know, appreciate. I don't know. Let's see if it understands me. Oh, it's good. Sometimes it doesn't even know that it's not autocorrect that's important. Autocorrect will not help you at all. I use that all the time. By the way, when I learned English in 2017, I wrote down a lot because it helped me to memorize sentences, but it didn't help me to to really get better at writing. Maybe a little bit, but I couldn't even notice that I would get better. I kind of whatever. Appreciate and then appreciate. Okay, let's try this. Appreciate. Okay, let me check this again. Double P, appreciate. See, it's not that easy for me. CIA. Okay. What did I? Without there is no. No, there is. Oh, that's and then C8. SIATE. Oh, E. Okay. Appreciate. Appreciate. Let's do this again because I wasn't sure if I was checking it or not. Sometimes, it just happens very quickly. Your eyes go direct. Let's do this again 3 times in a row without looking it up. Appreciate. Okay, so I did this like 3 times in a row correctly. That's it. If this word appears again, I do not have to do it, except if I feel like it, Usually I try it again, but the important thing is I don't want to make it unnecessarily tedious or hard. If I don't have a good day, the rule, I have only to follow the one rule 3 times in a row, successful, move on. If you have energy and you want to do this again, fine. But, I only have to fulfill the one rule once. Okay. Good. Move on. I would also appreciate, also this word is not fixed. Next time it appears, I'm certain I will struggle, but I might fix it a little bit faster. That's very interesting, very intriguing. I would also appreciate if you would ask some follow up questions. Okay, that's just a program I have. I'm gonna follow the instruction of the program in case you don't see that, but I think you see it. It says look away for 15 seconds. That's gonna be good for my eye health, and I follow that. It's an awesome program. I even used it yesterday by playing games. I played some Warhammer shit, and was annoying, but helps. Yeah. So I would also appreciate if follow-up questions. So I would also appreciate if you would ask some follow-up questions. Point. That's a fantastic idea. Acceleration that is a fantastic idea for accelerating your learning. That's a fantastic idea for accelerating your learning. And he screams that at me. You're learning. Asking follow-up questions will help us explore new sense in vocabulary and phrasing. Original prompt. I would also appreciate. Okay, more natural version. I would also really appreciate. I see. I would also really appreciate it. I would also really appreciate it if you could ask me some follow-up questions. Or even more casual, could you also throw in some follow-up questions? I see. Could you also throw in some follow-up questions? Yeah, I like this one. I actually like. Let's just, because that's also interesting. What I've noticed. I get better at reading, but if there is a structure, when I read sentences which do not follow a structure, a sentence structure which I'm familiar with, or which is completely different to the way how I structure sentences, then I stutter more because my expectations of the next following word is, I think, interrupted. But I'm still figuring this out. Very interesting shit you learn. It's also very boring, but you know, if you get into those things, I find it interesting. But if you're young, you don't give a shit about this. Why would you? Why would you? And good for you. You know, you shouldn't. You know, do it later when you get older. Okay, no, do it. It's gonna help you. Do it definitely. If you find a way, do it. Okay, I like that one. I'm gonna write it down. Could you also throw in some follow-up questions? Could you also throw in some follow-up questions? Okay. This is good. That's another great attempt at sounding casual. You are very close to perfect. Yeah, I mean, sure, of course. Why wouldn't I? But you know, it's also, it says you're doing great, but you still suck. So I like that about AI. It's you know, it's hitting your ass very nicely. So more natural version. Could you also throw up? No. Could you also throw in some follow-up questions? What did I say? Could you also throw in some follow-up questions? What did it say before? Where is the follow-up question? I forgot to read the follow-up question. Could you also throw in some, this one here. I see. Could you also throw in some follow-up questions? Is this now perfect? Germans can only, you know, there's nothing between. It has to be perfect or a failure. Yes. Could you also throw in some follow-up questions? Is absolutely perfect for casual, friendly conversation. It sounds completely natural to a native speaker. Although, that's good for you if you're a native speaker, huh? So, that's not today. So, since we are keeping up the momentum, here's your next question. If you had to choose only one of these three actions, copying, writing, or transcripting. Oh boy. This is a boring ass sentence. Oh boy. You don't know that, but when I read that shit, stuff like this, when something gets super boring, I'm so upset that it is so boring that I just get distracted. Okay. Let's go into just reading mode. If you had to choose only one of these three actions, copying, writing, or transcripting, to get information from a lecture, which would you pick? Which would you pick? And what is the biggest advantage of choosing that method? Oh hell, this is difficult. It's so boring that it locks down my brain. It shuts down. That's the what I read something and I forget what. Okay. If you had to choose only one of these three actions, copying, writing, or transcripting, What was transcripting again? Copying makes sense. Writing, yeah, transcripting. I think it's writing, yeah. To get information from a lecture. Which would you pick, and what is the biggest advantage of choosing that method? Yeah, that's actually not a bad question, because it forces me to understand what the difference between copying, writing, and transcription actually are. From a lecture, I don't understand the context really. So if it's a lecture, then if I just copy what the lecture is saying, then I just have basically the same, only instead of listening to the lecture, just written it down, right? If I write, does it mean I write the interpretation of the lecture myself? And what the transcription mean, I completely forgot. Transcripting. Well, can you explain again what are the differences? See, I fixed it. I don't have to do it. I fixed it myself. Can you explain again what are the differences between copying, copying. I see. Yeah, that's definitely something I wouldn't copying. No, see, there's actually this I almost didn't check because I copying. Copying. Okay. Copying, writing, and what is the other boring word? Transcripting. Transcripting. Yeah, I thought so. Okay, that's also a good word. Transcribing. But I was checking while writing, that doesn't count. Transcribing. Okay, transcribing. What did I do wrong? Trans is correct, right? TRANS. Okay, then we have I see, okay. Transcribing. I'm not sure, but I probably not mispronounced that one. Transcribing. Okay, I'm glad I did it. This is also difficult. This is going to be difficult to fix because it doesn't occur often. Makes sense, right? Okay, copying, writing, and transcribing. I don't know how. Let me just use ChatGPT quickly to check the pronunciation of this one here. So do I pronounce it correctly when I say copying, writing, or transcribing?
Yes, you've got them all right. Each of those words is pronounced just as you'd expect.
Can you say transcribing for me?
Of course. The word is pronounced transcribing, with the emphasis on the...
Transcribing, yeah, that's okay. Question mark. That's a very smart question. Oh, thank you so much. Hey. And now I start to believe I must be something here. That's a very smart question to ask. It shows you are thinking critically about how language works, which is key to fluency. Original prompt. Okay. More casual. Could you explain the difference between copying, writing, and transcripting again? Or more casually, can you break down the difference between copying, writing, and transcribing for me. Okay, but now see, this is the fun part. Now I don't do that because I don't feel like it. I really want to know the answer to that. Let's see. The detailed explanation. The main difference lies in the source of the information and the level of transformation required. That's also a sentence you just can toss in any conversation. If you go out, meet some people, just say that sentence. If somebody, hey, what are you doing? You answer just, hey, what I'm doing. Well, the main difference lies in the source of information and the level of transformation required. You can go. You're fine. So first, copying due to duplicate. Oh God, what? Copying. Do duplicate exactly. Duplicate. What is taking something that already exists? I see. Okay. Copying. What is taking something that already exists, text, image, handwriting, and reproduction. No, and reproducing it exactly as it is. You are a perfect mirror. Yeah, I understand that. It's right, but okay, I didn't. Okay, taking something that already exists, text, image, handwriting, and reproducing it exactly as it is. You are a perfect mirror. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, that's copying. But I'm copying. I can writing. Using your own brain to generate new ideas, structures, arguments, or record memories in that text form. You are creating something from scratch based on that source. Your own thoughts, memory. Yeah, but in the context, man, about you in the context. Okay, but let's see this one. I actually don't know what it means. What it is converting spoken language audio video into written text. I see, that's why this happened. Yeah, makes sense. Netflix and shit. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Okay, I see. You are listening to converting sound waves. Okay, but in this context about the question here, more natural. Could you explain the difference between? I see. Where is the question again? Here. I know. I'm just gonna copy that in because the follow-up will matter more. If you had to choose only one different actually, you know why I hurry up? Because I have to go pee. Let me just go pee and I can take my time. Herrlich. Okay. So, then I can write this one here again. Let's do that. I don't feel like it, but this is the advantage of the recording, because I'm sure you would think that's a good idea, right? So, and sometimes I do that. So could you explain the difference? So about in context of this question you asked me. In context of this question you asked me. So in context of you asked me, what does copying transcription? What asked me? And that's the what. Okay, yeah, right. I'm not copying that in. You ask me. So could you explain the difference? Could you explain the difference between copying, writing, and transcribing? Could you explain the difference between copying, writing. I just noticed that while doing that. See, copying is something you should think I should not have any problems, because even before I started learning English, copy is very, in German we say copy, like so I encountered this word a lot, and still you can see I struggled, and I struggled because, well, if you don't use it, you're not improving. And when you learn language, let me just throw that in. When you learn English, or any language for that matter, you're not learning just one thing. You learn 4 different sub-skills which together combined are one language. So let's say the English language as an example. The English language consists of 4 sub pillars, if you want, sub languages, which is listening. It's its own skill. So the English listening you have to practice, in English talking you have to practice separately or together, but you have to practice them in order to get better. Writing and reading. So if you do, for example, if you just read and write, your pronunciation, your ability to express yourself doesn't get better. Maybe you will know more words, but you will not feel comfortable. Slightly, just a tiny percentage maybe you get better, but not really. So in order to get better, you have to learn, practice, do the action of the sub languages. So again, just to simplify it, if you do not write, you're not getting better at writing. If you do not talk in English, for example, you're not getting better with talking. If you do not listen, to other people, you just suck. You're not a listener. You're not getting better at listening as well. Okay. In context of this question, you asked me, could you explain the difference between copying, writing, and now let's see, transcribing. I'm genius. Transcribing. Could you explain the difference between copying, writing, and transcribing again? Could you explain the difference again? I see. This is not the thing I wanted to actually ask. Where is it? Where is the boring phrase? Since if you were explaining. Follow-up question. I need to copy it down. I usually copying something from a book. Where was the question? To summarize, I lost the question, the original question. Shit, man. It's not super important. I want to, I started it, I want to finish it. That's the reason. It's not the best thing in the world, but could you explain the difference between, where is the original question? To get info. Here we go. If you had to choose, exactly, that's the thing. So if you had to choose only one of these 3 actions, or only one of these 3 actions, copying, I see, why is this here? I don't know. Copying, writing, or transcribing, actions. Copying, writing, or transcribing, to get information from a lecture, to get information. No, this is just I just mispressed. Information. What am I doing? Information. Really? I shouldn't struggle with this one. Information. Here we go. Okay. Information. This was always never for some reason this word. Well, yeah, a little bit, but I always was able to This was not on a frustrating word for me. To get information from a lecture. To get information from a lecture. Lecture. Because I just got lucky with this one here. Lecture. Which would you pick? Which is tricky. Let me tell you why. Because of there is the witch and the witcher, right? And there is the witch which everybody, the witch which makes you to a chicken, transforms you into a chicken or something like that. It's always a tricky one here. Which would you pick? Would you pick? Comma. And what is the biggest advantage of choosing that method? And what is that biggest advantage of advantage okay yeah, I see. Okay, stupid, but okay, whatever. Rule is rule. Advantage. What is the biggest advantage of choosing that method? Okay, that's the question actually. So, in context of this question, you ask me, blah blah blah. How, would I understand? How would I understand these words? Copying, writing, transcribing, Klammer zu, here we go. Okay. No, I mean, this one might be a little bit interesting. That's a wonderful question. It sounds like you are asking how the context of getting information from a lecture changes which word we use. What? Changes which word we use. More natural, let's see. In this context of that question you asked me, if you had to choose only one of these three actions, copying, writing, or transcribing, to get information from a lecture, which would you pick, and what is the biggest advantage of choosing that method? How should I understand those words in this specific situation? Context, understanding the lecture scenario. Okay, when the source material is a lecture which is spoken, the context heavily favors one word over the others. Copying. You would copy slides or notes that the professor puts up, but you can't copy the lecture itself because it's sound, not text. I see. Okay. You cannot really. Okay, writing. You are always writing while you're listening, but this is a broad action. Okay. In the context, so I would writing just means I take notes. Copying, so that's a stupid question. Then you cannot. If I cannot copy it anyways, then the question doesn't make any sense. So, or maybe I don't know. I think this is just I got here trapped in this AI thinking thing, but it doesn't really matter as long as I can practice. Those words doesn't really matter. Transcribing. This is the most technical, accurate term for converting spoken words into written form. The best answer in this context now I'm curious. In this lecture setting, while transcribing is technically correct, converting speech to text. Most students actually engage in note taking, which falls under the umbrella of writing. Okay, writing down some notes. I think they aren't trying to write down every single word. They would be full full transcription. They are selecting a summarizing key ideas. Yeah, of course they would. I mean, that's super boring. That's completely, what I did was completely for nothing, I think. Maybe not, but I think so. But it doesn't really matter. What I practice, even if the AI response is a little bit silly and doesn't really make much sense, or the question is silly, eventually I still try to, important is that I can construct my question, that I see a better way of asking the same question, which then helps me to get better at talking in general, also communicating better. It's very important, communication skills do matter much more than I would like to be honest, but that's a very, very interesting topic as well. Anyway, next topic is going to be more fun. I'm not going to choose that. Also, listen, I think I already broke the rule in terms of I don't respond to any comments. I have a new rule. Instead of not responding to any comments, period, because I did that because I simply was overwhelmed. There's many reasons for that. One of them, I didn't like to respond because typing was difficult. The other thing is, who cares? Who gives a shit? So I will once in a while, when I think a comment is interesting, respond. This is a new way of responding to comments, just in case you want to leave one. I respond if I like it, and if not, I'm not. Or if I don't care, or when I feel like it. But if you have anything to say, if it's interesting, I may make a topic out of that, If you have anything interesting, I think I can respond in this way. I'll do that. Or if you want to explore a topic, if you want to talk, something about why do we live in the first place? What is all that, and why do I have a pain in my right cheek? On my bottom. I don't have one right now, but I'm sure to get one at some point. The older I get, then feel free to do so. Yeah, that's the first thing. So every week I try to record at least one. I also do offline. I think so, depending, a bit. If I don't record them, surely I will use AI like that. Again, to sum it up, I'm actually surprised. Today I had so little problems, it's almost boring to watch. But let me tell you, not every day is like that. There will be times where I cannot focus, where it's going to be harder, and I have to find words. So yesterday also, let me just add that. I played Warhammer, a sci-fi game, and I had trouble understanding the Warhammer in the game. I got some instructions for playing the game right from the I got a briefing in game. The commander was briefing me. I couldn't understand what he was saying just by listening. So because he used some interesting words. So if I get a different topic, I may get stuck a little bit harder. I hope so that it's more interesting to watch. Yeah. Okay. That's it for today. I'm gonna record definitely another one, and that's starting now the series. Once a week I try to record, but if I don't record, I just do it offline. I might be sick, I might be not feeling like recording, then I do a offline session. Okay, so if you have any questions and so far, let me know. And when it is about English learning, or when it's about language learning in general, it's a topic I can talk forever about this. I like that topic a lot. And so feel free. I'm going. Bye.